one of the things that children ask me to draw all of the time, and that is the beloved shark. This is a Mako shark. Mako sharks are really cool. They have very sharp teeth, very slender aerodynamic bodies, very pointy, okay? Remember, as I say every time we draw, the first thing I'm going to do is look at shapes before I start drawing. There are a lot of pointy shapes here. Lots. Use my Optimus Prime sword here. We have a long oval, pointed oval. It's got points at both ends. I see an oval. I don't know what you see, but I see an oval. Maybe a banana, sharp banana shape, cigar shape. I don't know. But that's what I see first, and then I see lots of triangles. Triangles. Lots of triangles everywhere. Alright, so let's try to draw this guy. I'm going to be using a pencil this time because I know that I'm going to need to draw light and loose on Mr. Shark, because this is a very important drawing to a lot of you, because I get asked to draw sharks all the time. For this tutorial, I don't want to just draw him straight. I want to kind of angle him a little bit so that he's almost like coming at me. Three-dimensional. So I'm going to hold him out here. Alright, watch my shapes. Let's see. Draw loose. Now, I want you to see what I've done. I have drawn this one smaller, this point smaller. I kind of rounded it out a little bit. And this one bigger. Why? Because if something's coming at you, the part that's closest to you is going to be the biggest. So I have drawn almost like a pea pod, right? Okay. Sharks are, this guy's kind of divided. I would say half is about right here, and that's of that point right there. So I'll find that and mark it. Now, I'm not just drawing a straight line like that. No. Three-dimensional, remember? So we want to draw it round. Cut that pin in half, right? Makes it three-dimensional. Okay, so we know that if I divided this guy in half, we're going to have I'm going to draw a loose fin here. Three-dimensional, a loose fin here. Which is almost a rounded triangle. See that? Now, we know that that's half, so I'll come up here and draw my big triangle for his fin. I'm not trying, it is not a perfect triangle. I'm trying to just draw the shapes right now. And then, of course, his back fin, I'm going to draw it smaller because it's further away from me, right? If I was drawing it flat, it would be as big as the one up here, or the ones down here. Okay, but I'm not doing that. I'm going to draw him coming at me a little bit. So, tail fin. Trying to be a little bit accurate, but not super. Now, sharks have this big dorsal fin on their back, and then one further down closer to the tail, and one right below it. Then we have about halfway between the big fin and the little fin on the bottom. Bet you didn't realize sharks had so many fins, right? So now, let's work on our face. I'm going to darken those lines up a little bit so we can kind of see them. Now, I'm not just going to draw a triangle for his mouth, because that's not right. I'm going to round it off. Okay, round and then straight. So round and then straight. Now I say straight, but it's actually kind of an S curve to his mouth. Okay, and I'm actually going to bring it out a little bit further. I'm going to actually make this a little more pointy. This is why we draw lightly, so that we can change things up a little bit. Okay, and I'm not going to go all the way to this edge. I'm going to round it back a little bit. So let me draw that shape down here. So that's the shape for his mouth. Remember, draw loose, not hard. You don't want to sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm drawing really hard." Oh. I don't know what that was supposed to be, but don't do that. Draw his eye. Now his eye's not all the way back here. It's actually halfway between where the front of the mouth to the back of the mouth is. So halfway would be about right in here. I'm going to go round because I am trying to be a little bit more realistic. If I was doing cartoon, maybe I would come back here with some ovals. Cartoon eyes, right? Hey! But no, I'm not doing that. Being more realistic. Shade it in. Do you notice what I did there? Circle, oval for the light spot, and then shade it. Let's start drawing his, well, we got to do his gills. Let's count how many gills we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As far as I know, all sharks have 5 gills. Okay, you can ask your teacher if all sharks have 5 gills, but all the major species of sharks that I've seen have 5 gills. Okay, so draw our lines, and if you notice, they don't just do this. They don't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They actually start out kind of straight, and then they start to angle back a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and now this is going to tell me I'm going to have to move my fin a little bit back because that first fin starts about where those last 2 fins are. Gills are. This is why we draw light. And the more you draw this guy, the more you draw a shark or something like that, the easier this is going to be. Alright, but look, our gills aren't just lines. I don't know if you can see it, but they actually come back towards the face a little bit. Okay, I'll draw them and then I'll show you what I'm doing here. Alright, so it's not lines like that. They almost look like staples. Okay, so now, and I'm just realizing that I'm actually drawing this mouth a little bit too big, but that's okay, right? This is learning experience for all of us. If I really wanted to, I could sit here, I could erase this mouth, this eye, but I don't have to do that because we're learning together. Okay, so now, drawing his gills, drawing his eyes, let's start looking at a little bit more detail of this mouth. The great white shark's teeth are like triangles. This is not a great white shark. A Mako has teeth that are more like that. Like a triangle that's been blown over by the wind, okay? Okay, and I'm not going to make them all exactly the same because shark's teeth aren't all exactly the same. Okay, so there's my top ones, and I'm doing triangles like this. Let's do the bottom row. Have them sticking up a little bit. Drawing a line inside to indicate his mouth. They actually have some lines inside. I want to follow this nose out to the point. Very pointy nose. S-curve to the back of the fin. See the S? Stretched out to the back of the fin. I want to round out my top triangle. Look, there's an S-curve. And actually that's an S-curve too. Okay, so you have S-curve. I hit a bump in my table, which is why that kind of did that. I don't know what's under there. Now I want to follow this line down to the tail, and I want to, that's the top, go underneath to the fin. Let's draw this fin, darken it up a little bit. See, I originally put my fin here, but I had to move it back. Now I want to draw this back fin. I'm going to angle it out a little bit more. So I want them to be almost even, but at a different angle. Alright, so now I want to do another S-curve from his throat to the mouth. Okay, so we have S curve and then a curl up. Straight back. Okay, our mid fins. Okay, there's another S curve. Back. Little fin, little fin. Where have you been? Alright, so now I'm going to try to hold this so I can kind of see his back tail and you can see it at the same time. Alright, I'm going to come back here. Have an S curve to the point. Seeing the point of the tail where the point of this shape meets the end of the tail. And then I'm going to come down, draw a nice triangle here. Okay. We'll mess up a little bit. That's why we have erasers. And then they actually have a little tip of a triangle right there. And I want to make this tail look nice. Alright, let's look at our picture. How does that look? Not too bad. So now I want to clean it up a little bit. I'm going to erase some of my tutorial marks here. Not all of them, just some of them. I actually really like it when I see drawings that are loose, because it shows me that you're paying attention to construction. There's our Mako shark. What do you think?
Remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Also, consider supporting this project on Patreon.